What is up, everyone? It's your boy Strasbourg. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. You know, normally I've been doing videos about guitar pedals, and I love guitar pedals, but sometimes you need to take a step back and think, what are we actually using to run into those guitar pedals? Guitars, obviously. So today I wanted to take a look at one of my most recent guitar purchase and talk about it a bit because I think it's pretty cool. Let's have a look. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the Dunable DE Cyclops. Now, if you're not aware, Dunable is a guitar brand based out of the USA. I can't remember exactly where they are, but it's owned and founded by Sasha Dunable. He's one of the guitarists and vocalists from the band Intronaut. Cool band, check him out. And yeah, he's a while ago now, he started his own guitar brand. They make guitars in America, in-house, like a custom shop. You can kind of call up and order whatever you'd like. And then a few years ago, they kind of started rolling out the DE brand. You can see it's DE here. So, just like how Gibson has Epiphone and Fender has Squier and PRS has the SE range, this is the kind of cheaper Dunable guitars, because the USA custom shop ones are pretty expensive. Not crazy money for a custom made guitar where you can order all the specs, but still not cheap. So they put out this line. These are made in Korea, and there's some small differences. Obviously, the main one is it being made in Korea. Dunable make all their own pickups in-house, so you don't get kind of their in-house pickups like you do with the American ones, and just all the usual things that happen when you buy an import guitar. But that is not a necessary detriment, because this guitar, I think, is one of the best guitars you can buy in its price range for its quality. It does not feel cheap. So let's go over a quick few of the specs. We've got mahogany body, mahogany neck, tone wood doesn't matter. Ebony fretboard, which I quite like. I like how ebony looks, and it's quite a strong, solid wood. Graphtec nut, sweet open back tuners, which hold their tuning really well. Dunable Cthulhu pickups, which are exclusive to the DE range, like the ones we've got here. And these are made in the factory in Korea. I'm not sure which factory. It might be the Court factory. It's made in Korea, in the factory. And you've got about 10K on the bridge, 8K on the neck, Alnico 5s. You also have a push-pull kind of coil split on the tone, which I'll talk about in depth a bit later. And just a standard 3-way toggle switch. Those are the general specs, except for, almost forgot, my favorite part of this guitar, 25.5 inch scale length, which is my preferred scale length. I've always enjoyed Gibsons and Epiphones, but for certain things, but I'm primarily a Fender guitar player, and so the 25.5 scale length suits me better, I think, adds string tension. I don't know if it sounds better, but it feels better to me to play. So that's what I like about this guitar. Before we get into any more details, let's hear how it sounds. So I'm just going to be playing this in a couple of pedals. I think, the Halberd from EAE, the Citadel from EAE, and the new Pariah from God City Instruments. Use some of those. Let's hear how it sounds. Right, so that's how it sounds. Humbucker kind of humbucker glory. So let's talk about the guitar. I have been drawn to Dunable for a long time. I've often considered trying to scrape the money together to get a USA custom shop one, but it never happened. And they put out the DE line and I was interested and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And this is the Cyclops version 2, I should add. The version 1 has like a trapeze tailpiece instead of just your regular old stock tailpiece with like a tune-o-matic thing. And I was never super down with that. But then they brought out the Cyclops V2, like this one is, with a bunch more colours and just a regular stock tailpiece. So I kind of got some money together, traded a guitar or two, and made this happen. This isn't sponsored or anything. I got this guitar myself. I'm making this video myself. Yada, yada, yada. What has always drawn me to Dunable is I feel like they really nail the kind of vintage and modern aesthetic. Like, I use this band primarily in my band Citizen Rat, and we're kind of like a punk band, but with like lots of other kind of some Americana influences and stuff like that. And this isn't out of place sound-wise or looks-wise, you know. And I mean, when I saw that a local dealership near me, shout out Pedal Empire, had a pink one in stock, I mean, I clearly like the colour pink. I had to do the pink fit for the pink guitar, you know. I'm going through a pink thing. And I love pink guitars. It's my favourite colour. I have a pink Strat as well that I love. And, you know, so I went down, tried it out, and I was blown away by how nice it felt to play. For an imported guitar, it doesn't feel imported, except the only thing is the really heavy kind of lacquer finish, the really thick poly on it. You know, so I have all my guitars are poly, but this one feels particularly thick, especially on the neck. But maybe you could sand that down a bit. It'd ruin the shiny gloss finish, but give it more of a matte thing, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, the tuners hold tune particularly well. I have no complaints when it comes to the tuners, and they look really cool as well. And I feel like with this guitar, I haven't noticed the same thing you get with Les Pauls, where you get the G string constantly going out of tune. I think the scale length has kind of helped with that issue a bit. Now, let's talk about the coil tap. So it's here on the tone knob. Tone knobs look real cool, by the way. It's here on the tone knob, and I am not a fan of coil splits, coil taps, anything. I play primarily Fenders. I also play primarily single coils. One that makes it hard for me to find humbuckers that I like, and we'll talk about these ones in a sec. But I'm very picky and used to what good single coils sound like, and coil split or coil tapped humbuckers just never sound good to me. And I wouldn't say this is necessarily majorly different. It sounds like kind of weak and kind of thin, but I found that in the coil tap mode, it sounds really cool to kind of get some of that kind of like 80s Rockman type sounds. Like, I think this would like clean a bunch of chorus and reverb and delay gets a real cool like 80s kind of sound, like a direct in type thing or something. I don't know. I did some playing of that, so we'll throw that in here. But yeah, that's how the coil tap sounds. It's not something I particularly use. You know, if I want single coils, I'll play a single coil guitar. If I want coil taps, if I want humbuckers, I'll play a humbucker guitar. Speaking of, I would say these humbuckers, being stock on an import guitar, the pickups are almost always a swap them out situation, right? Typically, anyway. I would say these things are about 85% of the way there for me personally. When it comes to like the heavier stuff, the overdriven stuff, they nail it. They're really good. They sound awesome. If I was just playing like really, really heavy stuff, I wouldn't feel the need to swap them out. But when they don't have that kind of extra special something that really good PAFs or really good humbuckers have, kind of the extra, I don't know how to describe it. There's just like some extra maybe top end, some extra information that comes through, some extra vibe, I guess, even though as much as I hate, that's a vibe, man. It's a fucking vibe. These pickups are 80% of the way there. They work. They're great. But if you want to do kind of, I guess, lower gain stuff, it's not exactly a great kind of clean tone. Not that I ever play clean, but it's not great for like lower gain kind of vibey stuff. I'd go for one of my other guitars. But they're good. I might change them out at some point, but honestly, like, I'm pretty happy with it. And that is really the main thing, is that this guitar, I grabbed it off the rack at the shop. All I had to do was put my set of strings, 10 to 52s on it, and it was good to go. I haven't had to do anything. It barely even needed a setup. Maybe the shop set it up, but this, I adjusted the action a bit, but it's good to go. If you want to get a guitar that's not gonna, break the bank American money, like American Fender, American Gibson, American made guitar style, this is a good option. It's not Squier cheap, but it's not American made guitar expensive. So something to weigh up. Some negatives. Now, there are some negatives. First of all, I would like to say that resale value. I always believe that these videos should come across to a consumer, someone who's looking to purchase something, because obviously that's why you watch something. You want to know if you're thinking about purchasing it, and you want to see if it's good. A guitar like a Dunable is not going to have the same resale value that something like a Fender or a Gibson is going to have, and that's just the market we live in. Can't help it. They're making their way up the kind of guitar ladder, but they're not a PRS, they're not an Ibanez, they're not Gibson, they're not a Fender. So you have to think that it might be harder to resell, might be harder to, you might not get as much money. It's just something to think about. That's if you, purchase it thinking, if you're someone that goes through guitars a lot and is constantly selling, buying, trading, maybe this isn't the right one. But if you're just someone who wants a really cool, awesome looking guitar, an awesome playing and sounding guitar right out the box without breaking the bank, I would highly recommend this. The only issue I had was with the three-way toggle. It's one of those, it's hard to describe. You probably, if you've looked at a three-way toggle before, but on the inside, there's a bit that just clips on, which has actually got the wires and stuff connected to the pickup. And then there's the bit that mounts into the pick guard. It just clips up in there. And then there's this toggle switch here, just kind of flicks a little tab on the inside, which just sends the signal to either pickup. And the bit that was with the wires that was stuck in, that was just clipped in to this bit, just came off one day in like the middle of a rehearsal. And I pulled the pick guard off and stuck it back on there. It wasn't soldered in or glued in, it was just clipped in. And every time I'd move the pickup switch, it would just pop out. So I just had to super glue it back on there so it doesn't keep popping out. Because if it pops out, then I'm stuck in the in-between position, which I like, actually. I prefer the in-between position to the neck pickup. In-between position, superiority, neck pickup is weak. Bridge pickup, superiority, then middle, then neck. That's my hot take. The middle position is better than the neck position. Fight me. Tone wood doesn't matter. Fight me. Fuck you. So yeah, there was that thing. I've heard other people complain about, electronics issues, but apart from that, I haven't had major issues. Maybe a little scratchy pod, that's easily fixed. Apart from that, I would say this guitar has been pretty dang solid so far. Big frets, if you like big frets. All the big frets. Oh yeah. You like those frets, baby? Yeah, you like those frets. Oh yeah, you like that. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, that is my kind of rundown of this guitar. If you like kind of guitars that have got a bit of new flair, that aren't just a copy of every other guitar shape out there, but have got kind of their own thing, but also, kind of don't look super crazy and weird like a Strandberg. It still looks like a guitar and looks like something you could play, and you want something that's a bit different. I would highly recommend the Dunable. They also have a bunch of other guitars in the DE series. They've got the R2, which is kind of like a Gibson RD thing, and they also have the Narwhal, which is like a Mosrite type thing, which I almost went with a blue Narwhal, but the pink won me over. I can't say no to pink. This is a great stage guitar. It looks awesome on stage, especially when I'm dressed in this fly pink outfit. Pink fit. Let's start that. Hashtag pink fit. Anyway, this has been my review of the Dunable D Cyclops, I think. Cool pickguard tortoiseshell, if you like that. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Please like and subscribe if you have a Dunable, either a USA custom shop or a DE version. Let me know. This is kind of like it's got a cool SG vibe to it. So if you want an SG with that's not an SG, it's a cool option. I'm all about presenting options. Anyway, please like and subscribe. Tell your mother you love her, and as always, fuck off.